Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ilham Rehan Permana and I want to present my review text about movie and the title is Ada Apa Dengan Cinta or What's Up With Love. And it is the poster. Movie information. Release date at 8 February 2002. And this film from Indonesia. Director is Rudi Sudjarwo, language is English, producer is Mira Lesmana and Riri Riza, production company is Miles Production, screenwriter is Jujur Prananto, Prima Rusdi and Rako Prijanto. The starring is first is Cinta S. Dian Sastrowardoyo, Rangga S. Nikola Saputra, Alia S. Ladia Seril, Carmen S. Adinia Wirasiti, Maura S. Titi Kamal, Millie S. Sisi Priscilla, Borne S. Fabian Ricardo, Mamet S. Denis Adiswara, Pakwardian S. Mamang Diman. The review results. Ada Apa Dengan Cinta, or in English, What's Up With Love, or What's Up With Cinta, is a 2002 Indonesian romantic drama film directed by Rudi Sudjarwo. The Indonesia title is a play on words as Cinta. Indonesia for love is also the name of the main character. As such, the title can be translated as What's Up With Love, as well as What's Up With Cinta, meaning the person. The film is colored with Indonesian mainstream as well as side-stream values, elements of classical culture and politics, and real issues encountered in teen life. The film raised censorship controversies among conservative Muslim Indonesia, being the first Indonesia teen movie that featured a scan of a passionate kiss. After watching the movie in person, I discovered a number of strengths and weaknesses that the less conscientious audience might not even notice. Strengths in the movie. First, series work is indeed the main strength of this film. Even though it offers a cliche story, the maximum cultivation in the end had a positive impact on the film, which made this simple story so catchy in the heart of the audience. Basically, all things about friendship and love that appear in this film by Rudi Sudjarwo are stories that must love have been experienced by any teenager and at any time. There was the basic capital to make the film stick in the hearts of the audience is obscene. Even from the first scan, What's Up With Love already will make some of the audience will say, "That's me," and this moment will be repeated until the end of the film, until all who watch it will find the moment they have experienced in the real world. Because all the moments in this film are handled to the maximum. So in the end, the audience will not only find moments that are the same as their life, but also see that these moments were worked out to the maximum then and are able to appear touching. In the end, with so many moments so real, ADC, to have many memorable scans. I myself have many favorite scans, but what I like the most is the scan where Cinta sings a poem by Rangga, and at the same time is accompanied by the scan of Alia who is committing suicide. Romance and tragedy are conveyed in a moment at the same time with the same maximum cultivation. A scan that closes beautifully when we are shown blood flowing in the bathroom, which is so stinging. Second, everyone will find their own love story in the Rangga Cinta story, because the love story of the two of them is almost complete, containing various stories that any teenager has ever experienced. People who at the time fell in love with someone who was always fighting with him, but basically, Yasuo's intention would feel that Rangga Cinta's love story represents his feelings. People whose love story has to face a thick wall called friendship will find that this film is very self-described. People who ultimately have to leave their beloved abroad will cry with emotion to see how this film is able to capture the feeling that he once felt. Well, it's even possible that people who have first that experience in bookstores will smile when they see Rangga and Cinta walking together to Quito. There will be many more stories that will represent the feeling of the audience. In fact, almost every moment in this film will make each audience remember a piece of story in a high school romance that he has ever felt. No over dramatization. It's a plus of audition. Everything flows simply but beautifully so that the audience will feel that simplicity becomes a story that is so deep for them. 3. What's Up with Love? Also able to mix several ideologies and mindsets of adolescent life without blaming one of them. We take the example of Ranga and Cinta's meeting in Huitang where Cinta preferred to song to the past band concert with her friends. After that, a fight broke out between the two of them, which was sparked by a dialogue from Ranga that made a deep impression on me. Namely, what is it called if not sacrificing personal interest for less principled interest? Yes, it was as if I suddenly felt that Ranga was shooting the words from my heart that had been hidden all this time. Either because I didn't want to or didn't know how to say them. But with this dialogue, this film not blame teenagers who put fame above all else. But also never ends has this film confirmed this. That's the great thing about this film. Even line of sentence will be able to make the audience feel that this is my film. Talking about line sentence, of course, there are so many words that will always ring in the minds of the audience. Or to dialects that might be taken for granted like style. The Madding is ready to be published, and many other memorable dialects. Surely the poem What's Up with Love, the end of the film will always be remembered. It all depends on the taste of each audience who wants to choose which dialect or scan is their favorite. If the majority of people feel that Ranga and Cinta is kissing scan is the most romantic, I prefer the scan toward the end when Cinta and her friends talk about Cinta's feeling for Ranga. Cinta didn't answer their question but immediately burst into tears and was followed by a confession of her feelings. The scan is so touching, romantic, and natural at the same time. 4. From the soundtrack, this film is also extraordinary. This is where the best works of Melly Guslau and Anto Huet in the world of film are present. In line with the simple but striking film, the songs that sing through the film are also not as overdramatic as some others. Melly made recently sounds like What's Up with Love, I'm Happy to But Someone that you sing Bunga are very appropriate to accompany the ups and downs of emotion and conflicts that exist. So What's Up with Love, a phenomenon they're proud of. I myself intend to pour all the advantage and whatever I get through this film so as to make the film so phenomenal for me too. But in fact, there is too much that can be poured, so I choose to only take a few points. But can I guarantee what RDJ as to over? Much more extensive and in depth than what I have written. This is a film that is not only quality and memorable but also able to provide a very real reflection on real life. Even the poster is so iconic, its impact on the literary world was also great until my book was reprinted after this film. In addition to have many strengths, the film also has some weakness in my opinion. Such as first, I think this film is a standard film, as well as in the film setting, editing are attached. And more importantly, there is something that is very rarely found in Indonesian films, namely common sense. So that we seem surprised, because it turns out that there are also Indonesian filmmakers who can fulfill the basic requirements, that is, the creator cannot arbitrarily determine the fate of his character, cannot arbitrarily include events that occur by chance, because he only wants to pursue certain effects. These things relate to the so-called character and its development as mentioned above. In this last case, I feel the weakness in Ranga's character. The background of his character is very interesting and has a very thick social problem, so it feels like it should be explored more and not approached in passing. If only in depth of this character is sufficient, then there is no need for a crisis scan of a fight between Borne is Ricky Fabian et al. Who, will, who feels that his girlfriend is Cinta and Ranga. Moreover, there is going hard to throw Molotov cocktails at Ranga's house. Second, this film is of standard quality because it manages to solve the technical problems of making a film. Also, on future investigation, there are still troubling technical problems, such as screen director errors. For example, at the time of the scan, Ranga was sitting in the room of a school errand boy who became his best friend. Ranga sits on the left of the screen facing the right of the screen. Then the group of Cinta and friends passes from the left of the screen in another shot. The next shot again, Ranga turns to the right, towards the movie audience. That is, of course, he turned to the group of love. If he means that, then he should have turned to the left, because Cinta is encouraged was talking from the left of the screen. For viewers who are quite alert, of course, elementary things like this can be confusing. This is indeed a very elementary problem in directing and editing, which should not have happened. Hopefully, I'm not mistaken because I only watched it once. 3. The bigger problem in this technical matter in the building or structure of the storytelling. I mentioned earlier about the Molotov cocktail, which is more like a patch than a mask for a building. Likewise, what happened at the end of the film, which is still interesting, with a shot of the airplane going up, which is the characteristic of Indonesia film as a symbol of luxury. The hilarious scan at the end of this film makes the emotional atmosphere that has been well developed disperse. 4. The movie's biggest problem was what is with love. This is a matter of ideas. This is not a technical matter. This is what underlies the technical problems, so that a film or any art can show symptoms of creativity. It's easy when I finish watching a film or drama, dance, painting, reading, literature acts. The first question is, what do you want to talk about this film? Lord of the Rings talked about greed, albeit in an old-fashioned manner, to the point of the feeling cliche except for the artistic arrangement. Life is Beautiful talks about hope and survival or the endurance of human life with a humorous approach that reaches levels like those exhibited by Charlie Chaplin to feel very creative. The Conqueror Girl scenario talks about Joel, the fear or the excitement of life. 5. So what do you want to say what's up with love? Of course there is a problem of violence in the family. There is a problem with Ranga and his father oppositions, which makes Ranga feel more mature than he should be. However, these problems are a side problem, not the main one. Then what is the point? Teen love problems? I think this is the main problem. If this was the only problem, the idea would not add weight to the quality and creativity of the film. There is another problem that is actually interesting to highlight, namely the attraction between Shinta as a person and the collective spirit of the gang. There is quiet touching so in this, namely when Shinta has promised to date Ranga, while her best friend Alia, a gang member who has a violent problem for her father. Desperately, I needs help. Shinta lied, so she could be alone with Ranga. It turned out that Alia tried to commit suicide because she couldn't find a way out of her family's problem. Shinta can only regret. 6. This film is arguably a concussion of side ideas. He didn't choose one of them to be the main idea that was sufficiently explored. It is possible that this happened because the process of making the film was carried out in a crowd manner, so that he didn't give enough space for one of the team members to stand out in this case. Especially the director in this gang work. Unfortunately, this is also one of the strengths of the film. The arguable seem to be more technical problems than struggling with ideas. A film doesn't have to start from an idea, let alone a big idea. He can start from anywhere, but the depth or weight of the final result can be determined, or it can be seen from how far the team members and especially the director becomes the nature of his work is very decisive. It is daily to struggle with ideas or problems. Not simply, but seriously and deeply, I'm afraid this is a major shortcoming of the younger generation of Indonesian filmmakers. They have far better educational opportunities than previous generation, but their education is also more of a technical education. Of course, film school don't provide idea education. This has to be looked for elsewhere and very much depends on the intensity of one's life. Movie summary. The theme of high school love. The main character of this film are Cinta, Dian Sastrowardoyo, and Rangga as Nicole Saputra. Love is described as a beautiful girl, smart. Cinta is described as a beautiful girl, smart, cheerful, and very fond of the literature. That's what prompted Cinta to regularly participate in poetry competition at her school. And of course, she became the winner every year. Like most high school kids, Cinta is gangster too. His friends consist of Alia, Lydia Cheryl, Carmen, Adinia Wirasisti, Maura Estiti Kamal, and Millie as Sisi Priscilla. Even though he seems to be happy, there is one of Cinta's friends who turned out to be a victim of domestic violence. It is Alia, who is often hidden by his father, faced due to an argument with Alia's mother. Alia's character and life are quite important in this film, but that will be discussed later. Back to school background, this year Cinta's school also had a poetry competition because they have become subscribers to the winners. All students believe that the first winner must be Cinta again. However, it turned out that the assumption was wrong, because the winner of this year's poetry competition was Rangga. Cinta is quite disappointed that she didn't win, but she has to be professional. As the administrator of the school wall magazine, Cinta and the gang felt they need interview Rangga. Cinta also intervened to approach Rangga alone. Apparently, Rangga is the type of a person who is talkative, like to be alone and very cold, especially to the strangers. Their first meeting didn't leave a good impression because Rangga was emotional. He didn't realize the book he was reading, namely Aku by Suman Jaja, had fallen. Cinta picked it up and read it before intending to return the book tomorrow at school. Cinta approached Rangga at school the next day. At that time, Rangga was confused looking for his books. Rangga also felt very grateful because it was his favorite book, and his book was hard to find. Since then, Cinta and Rangga have become civil. no longer fighting each time they meet. Because Cinta seems interested in the book Aku, Rangga also invites Cinta to go to Kuitang, a used book market where Rangga often buys books. Cinta and Rangga's relationship is getting closer. Cinta has even visited Rangga's house and met his father. There was a political incident there. The scan was quite thrilling. It turned out that Rangga's father was a journalist and a leader of the style or his supporter, which he didn't accept. So Rangga's house became a target for stone throwing. One day, Rangga and Cinta promised to that. Just before Cinta left, there was a call from Alia asking Cinta to come to her house. Cinta didn't notice Alia's cheerful tone because she was too excited to do that. Cinta also lied about going to the hospital. Alia also understood and didn't force Cinta to come. In fact, at that time, Alia was having a suicidal thought. After that, Cinta's mother immediately asked Cinta to go to the hospital. Apparently, that night, Alia attempted suicide. Cinta feels that she has become a bad friend because among their gang, Alia is indeed the closest to Cinta. Moreover, this film, the problem was very fatal, and Cinta chose to go with Rangga instead of coming to help her best friend. Cinta feels Rangga's presence is disturbing and makes her friendship with her gang strained. So, when Rangga approached Cinta at school, Cinta was indifferent and said curtly not to approach him again. Rangga was offended, and he thought that Cinta had been playing games all this time. He agreed they didn't need to be in touch anymore. At the hospital, Cinta was honest with Alia that night. Actually, Cinta didn't go to the hospital but went with Rangga. Alia actually knew because after talking to Cinta on the phone, Alia tried to call again and it was Cinta's mother who picked it up. Of course, her mother didn't know Cinta was lying before and said, to be honest, that Cinta was out with the guy. Lucky, Cinta has a friend who is forgiving and understanding, so the friendship problem is sorted out. Suddenly, Rangga will move to the United States. He will go to school and live there with his father. Rangga, who was already at the airport, was followed by Cinta and friends. There was a scan of very iconic declaration of love. Apparently, their feelings reciprocated for each other. However, Rangga couldn't help but leave. He only gave Cinta his book, which he carried with him. On the last page, there is a poem written by Rangga. The title is What's Up with Love? And Rangga promised that he would return when the full moon. The evaluation. I think What's Up with Love is a phenomenal good love film. Although usually predictable because the plot is similar to the love films often used by love films today. What makes this film different from other love films in the fresh cast with a sense of humor and dramatic gameplay. The storyline is also changed slightly and becomes unpredictable in problem or resolution, such as how Rangga leaves Cinta for school in the United States at the end of the story. What makes this film satisfying is that it's realistic and carries a moral message about love that teenagers can compare to. Such an important message is that even if you fall in love or have a lot of friends, you must remain independent and not dependent. Rangga, one of the characters in the film, brings message to Cinta, which are important so that the film is full of moral and meanings. The film also contains effective humor brought by Mamet to make the story not too strange. The film Dapat Dengan Cinta proves that Indonesian love films are not all out, and then this film can also inspire future directors to continue to make romantic films that are funny, dramatic, and full of the meaning. You have to watch this film to know that Indonesia has the potential to make phenomenal films like American films. That's it. Finish. Thank you very much. to watch the video.